Are you a painting company that is looking for the most optimal way to manage your painting projects? Well, in this video, I want to dive into a particular one, SmartSheets, that I know a lot of painting companies use, and talk about some reasons why I wouldn't recommend it if you're not already using it, and some other softwares that I think are better fits for the painting industry. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I'm the owner of Boolean Automation, where our goal is to free you up to do what you love. And we do that primarily two ways. First, we have the Boolean review system. It's the best review software out there for home service, and in particular for painting companies. We have a super high conversion rate. You can get a free demo down in the link below. But we also offer automation consulting, and this is no-code automation consulting that we can train your team how to manage this. We've got a course if you want to have someone in your business just run through it all themselves. If you've got a unique circumstance that you want us to get eyes on, we're happy to do that as well. I'll provide the link to my calendar if you'd like to book a time down below. But that's what we do here at Boolean. We specifically work with painting companies to help streamline your business processes. All right, so SmartSheets. It is a very, very popular tool. It's been around for a long time. SmartSheets was one of those tools that was developed actually in 2005. They were the first player in the space that took an Excel-like idea and they made it smart, and they allowed you to create databases and look, and this Excel or spreadsheet-based view that we were all very familiar with. They did some remarkable stuff. However, there is one big, huge problem with SmartSheets, and that's relational databases. Or what a relational database is you create a database of like objects. So for example, you could have a database of people. The people database would have, a name, a last name, an email, a phone number, a date of birth, a social security number. Those are all things that people have. You could have a separate database of projects that are, a name of a project. There's an owner of the project, whether that's an employee generally. That project could be associated with a customer. You could also have the person or that people database could be the customer that's in that could be associated with multiple projects. While there's only one customer, they could have 3 projects in the system. So that's a very simple example of I have a person database and a project database. I could also create another database of properties. Like a physical house property or an address. So those are definitely distinct, whereas you have, a property can only exist one time. It has, generally a house. There's a value to that property. There's square footage of the house. You could pull a lot of that data from Zillow, for example, and populate all the details about a given property. But then interestingly enough, you could have a person from the person database be associated or related to the property because that's where they live. That could be their house. And then you could also have that the person and that property that are the person's living on the property. They could be associated with a project that is at that property, and that could be their home property. But you could also have that person have a additional property that is their rental or their vacation home, and they could have a second project that's associated with that. So what I'm describing are 3 different databases, and we are choosing how we want to relate one database to another. This is where it gets interesting because SmartSheets does not allow for relational databases, and that means that I can't create a database of employees that have employee IDs, they have pay rates, they have job titles. That could be a database, but I can't actually tell the project, like the project database, I want to associate the crew leader of this project to the person or the employee that's in that database. That doesn't exist. So that's where SmartSheets is just inherently from the way it was architected is going to be inferior and severely limiting to what you can do. There are other tools out there that do allow relational databases like Airtable. Monday's another very popular one that allows you to relate databases, and also SmartSuite, not to be confused with SmartSheets. SmartSuite is another player that is very similar to Monday and has a lot of similarities between Airtable. But those are all databases that give you, or they're all no code tools that give you basically all the same functionality that SmartSheets has, and they allow you to relate databases together. Now you might be asking, well, that doesn't matter, Chris. Why do I care about a relational database? And I would say the reason that you should care is because when you are able to relate a database to another database, you can then say, I want to know if I have these projects and I've associated them with this crew leader and this crew leader and this crew leader and this crew leader, I can roll up all the information about all the projects that my crew leader John is associated with. So I could say, how much revenue has John brought in for the business? The same thing for a sales rep. You could look at how many times have we painted this property, this house that we have another database of, how many different projects or how many different people have been associated with that project. You can't do that when you're using SmartSheets. You actually have to make a drop-down column, and it just doesn't allow for streamlining and pushing data in between databases, which can cause a massive amount of headaches when you're getting into job costing or looking at performance of your employees or how the projects are going. So that's the number one reason that I would suggest someone not consider SmartSheets, because that relational database piece is so massively powerful and it's severely limiting to not have that option. So if you're in SmartSheets right now, you can continue using it. But I will say that the other big downside is that if you look at the software, it looks like it was made in 2005. Airtable was made in 2012. A lot of technology had developed and happened over that, but it's still a very robust tool. So that would be something that I would consider and check out. If you've got more questions, maybe you disagree with me, drop it in the comments. Tell me why SmartSheets is better than Airtable or SmartSuite or better than Monday. Any one of those tools, I think, is going to beat SmartSheet any day. But I'd love to have that conversation. If you want more information, let me know. I can make a video on other topics. By the way, my whole goal is to help painting companies. So if there are other topics that you'd like me to explore, tutorials that you'd like us to make, please reach out, send me a message, schedule a time on my calendar. Always happy to chat. I want to continue to pour out and give information that I've learned from working in the painting industry and help other painting companies free themselves up so that they and their employees can do more of what they love. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.